Welcome to 60 Skills. In today's lecture, I will discuss what spirits can do for you. This will be part one of a three-part lecture that deals with spirits disabling internal safeties. Now, what do I mean by spirits disabling your internal safeties? Quite literally, when you invoke a spirit, one of the things it can do when it comes into you is it can shut off these internal safeties in your body that limit the amount of energy or physical performance you can normally engage in. Normally, these safeties are in place to keep you from injuring yourself. Simply put, it keeps you from working too hard in a way where you end up injuring yourself or getting hurt. Okay, what are some examples of this? Well, simply put, there are many. What the spirit can do is it comes in, it shuts off these safeties, and that effect is in fact progressive. So the longer you work with the entity, the more it can do this. For things like Qigong, this allows you to move more subtle energy through your body than you could normally by yourself, and this is a progressive development. So for those of you who do Reiki, for example, you may notice that as the longer you practice Reiki for, the stronger you get at it. Part of this effect is the spirit entering your body and slowly allowing you to move more and more subtle energy through the body. Okay, what are some more gross examples of this? Well, spirits can also be used for certain kinds of performance-based magic. The Tibetan runner monks, who've been known to run hundreds of kilometers at a time without stopping at high altitude, are another example of this. Now, this is of course an effect that is built up to. They use certain mantras, the egregore and the spirit of the mantra come into them, and then they allow them to do things that normally they simply couldn't do on their own. I will give you a personal example of this. Once I was working on Qigong, or light body skill. This is a skill that allows a person to move very quickly over short distances, and in some schools, people even develop the ability to leap about 9 feet straight up onto the first-story landing of a building. Now, this is curious for any number of reasons. First, it is in fact the rarest of the martial abilities and almost never seen. However, biomechanically speaking, theoretically speaking, there's no reason why a human being shouldn't be able to leap about 22 feet straight up. Now, as a practical matter, even amongst Olympic caliber athletes who are doing a running high jump, they don't get anywhere near this. Why? Because the body engages in self-protection. It limits how much of your muscular capacity you can ultimately harness at one point in time in order to keep people from doing things like ripping muscles and ligaments apart or off of bones, so to speak. What some of these spirit entities can do is they can go in and slowly shut these mechanisms off. So, as I was saying earlier, I was working on Qigong once, or the light body ability. I summoned a Lord of Air and he began to show me a series of exercises. Now, I have very little personal memory of what happened next, as my friends had to describe this to me afterwards. This again is also not very uncommon when working with certain entities, particularly at a very high degree of power, so to speak. So the next thing I know, I'm running across a field in a park, jumping up and down in puddles of water, and I'm leaping, according to my friends, about 2.5 to 3 feet in the air, in a large kind of skipping maneuver. This goes on for about 15 or 20 minutes. Again, I don't have any clear memory of this. I come back in the meditation, wish the spirit farewell, and my spine hurt for about 3 weeks afterwards. Normally, I can only leap about maybe 1.5 feet up. So that was at least a 50% increase in the height that I can jump upwards. But I'm also an almost 50-year-old man who weighs approximately 100 kilograms. One of the reasons why I can't leap any higher than I can normally is simply that my body is attempting to protect itself. This entity was able to come in and shut off some of these protective mechanisms. However, as is always the case involving the human body, when you exceed certain performance parameters, guess what happens? There's a very high likelihood that you're going to get hurt. So here's the problem in using spirits to exceed your normal grasp on certain things. Depending on how far this is pushed, you can actually do quite a bit of damage to your body. And I've seen this in many cases over the years dealing with senior practitioners who engaged in spirit magic in order to do certain things when they were younger, and as they got older, they ended up paying the price for it. So keep in mind that there's simply no free ride in esoterics. And while these give us excellent skills for accomplishing things that we might not be able to do normally on our own, ultimately, whether the price is in physical injury, energy, or something else, that price will in fact be paid. So always use your judgment when engaging in these things, and also realize that as spirits don't have physical bodies, frequently they don't have a very good understanding of human limitations either. And that is a discussion for another time. If you enjoyed today's lecture, please hit the subscribe button down below and give us a like. And if you'd like to learn more about the 60 Skills curriculum, please explore the details in the video down below. Otherwise, have a great day and be well.